You're my special friend.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Special Friends Podcast. It's your boy Wuzi, and I'm here with two lovely people. First off, I'm here with...
It's me, Professor B, a.k.a. Allie B.
Okay, and who else am I here with?
It's Ariel, a.k.a. Earoke.
It's Ariel. I don't know why I was wait, the pause.
I was gonna call myself something else. I was like, Ariel, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Stay focused.
Stay.
What were you going to call yourself?
I'm worried.
I never know.
You don't even know?
Whatever came to mind.
She's like, I was going to make something new on the spot.
Yeah.
I was
You can
about
find
to...
me at Popular Demand. That's one of my other names too.
I was your other song? I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah, I have wrote songs before though.
Did you post them?
Maybe I'll feature. This be the first. Find it here first.
Okay.
Drop it next summer.
You can get in your Tieta bag, drop the EP.
Oh my goodness, I always wanted to do a poetry album, so she's inspiration.
Ooh, that sounds actually
I haven't
quite
checked
cool.
it out yet though.
I heard it's really good.
I like her promotion.
I'm free.
Tea.
But again, thank you guys for coming back. Sorry about the hiatus, but we're here. We're back at it again. Before we get into it, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Helps us out a lot. Also, don't be afraid to comment, guys. I know I said comment already, but don't be afraid to comment. We love the comments. We have a lot of fun. But yeah, what's up, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Feeling good.
Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
A little tipsy.
Tipsy? I ain't mad at that.
Oh,
No.
from life?
I had an energy drink.
The ADHD, huh? She's hyped.
It's kicking in, okay.
That Red Bull's giving you wings.
I know. And I usually don't drink Red Bull. I usually don't drink energy drinks, period, but like Red Bull. But I was desperate. It was the only thing the store had, so.
You didn't get nothing when you was at Starbucks?
I had Starbucks, but it was earlier today, like around like 1:30. And it wasn't caffeine. Yeah.
Why not?
I don't drink coffee.
Why not?
It messed me up, man.
Like the gut?
Kind of rough
Yeah.
on the gut sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got their new apple crisp
Refresher.
cream chai something. I tried it for the first time a few weeks ago. I had a meeting at Starbucks with one of my youth, and they were passing out samples of all their new drinks. And I was like, well, that one's dairy free and it's caffeine free. I'll get it.
How
Well,
was it?
actually, it's not. I don't think it's caffeine free because it's chai. Is chai caffeine free? So,
But it's dairy free?
yeah, it's dairy free. And I got the little
She's
cup
speaking her
sample,
language.
and it was good. And
No
so this
pill?
time I ordered it. Oh, want to hear something
Was
embarrassing?
it iced or hot?
Iced.
Yes, I want to hear more. Sorry. What?
Something embarrassing. So
Oh.
I flew out to SoCal to visit my family last week, and that was the moment I was like, I'm gonna finally like order it because I had tried the sample. So I went to the airport thinking it was gonna be like regular Starbucks prices. I forgot that airport has its own prices, and it was $10 for a tall. And I only had like $4.35 on my Starbucks app. And so I was like, well, if I'm gonna pay $10 at Starbucks, at least get a sandwich, like a breakfast sandwich. And my card declined. But then I realized what was happening. It was like blocking because I was traveling. It does that sometimes. So, but it was embarrassing still because I was in
Yeah, no.
line about to pay. They were like heating up my sandwich, and I was like, ooh. But now I had the chance to try it today, and it was really good. So you should definitely get it.
I might, if it's open after this, I might stop by.
Okay. Sounds like a vibe. Chais are very underrated.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love chai.
I love chai too.
It's always my alternative to coffee because people just love coffee shops. I mean, I love coffee shops too, but I never get coffee, so I always get chai.
Interesting. Yeah, I've been at Temple a lot lately, and I don't know, I'm really getting into cold brew. But I did have a moment the other day. I was studying, and I drank the cold brew. And usually I drink the cold brew, I'm chilling because when I get closer to 5, battery's about like 20%. So when I drink the cold brew, like brings me back up to like my normal. But for whatever reason, it just blew the top off the ceiling last time. And I remember sitting there vividly, like feeling like a kid with ADHD, because I have ADHD, and I was like, I said, I gotta like stop. Like I gotta actually like intentionally think about the things that I'm trying to do.
Right.
Because I kept getting up, going to do something, walking to the bathroom, washing my hands, going to the car. I'm like, bro, I'm probably the most distracting person in this. And granted, I shouldn't think like that, but at the same time, this is the truth of the matter. But glad you guys had good weeks. Any stories? Anything to share? Anything new? Not y'all quiet now.
Anything
Nothing
new? What's new for me? I don't know if there's anything new. I had a good time with my family. That's new. It's a new feeling because usually when I go visit my family, I be quick to want to come back. Like I want to get back to like my new normal life, whatever. But this time I was kind of sad. I was like, I don't know if it was because I was only there for a short time, or because I needed it this time. And so, I don't know, I felt kind of gloom coming back. So that's a new feeling for me. I haven't felt like that in a long time, in a few years.
Nice.
So that's new, but I'm fine. Like, I'm over it now.
Back to the new norm.
Back to work. Wow.
But no, I'm looking forward to making another trip, hopefully before the end of the year. So
Wow.
I love that. I hope you get to do that. And I'm glad you got to be loved on. I learned this week, one of my highlights was filling up my own cup through the practice of Qigong. I've been really enjoying learning about that. It's a Chinese energy healing practice.
okay.
And so, and it's nice because I started kind of with Reiki in terms of just my chakras, and now to be doing more of a movement. And Reiki is not Chinese, but it's really cool to get into another modality that's complementary to some of the stuff I already know and practice. And it just kind of feels like it's, I don't know, like it actually has been quite a tumultuous week. So when I did Qigong this morning and came into class, I felt like I had poured up my cup.
Okay.
You know, it is interesting how it's like meditative, but also physical. So you can feel your energy. If it's stuck in any particular routine, it's meditative. So you're thinking about, okay, well, in this time, my purpose is to either release and, renew. What am I releasing? What am I renewing? And that is also how that's connected to, like, for example, weight in your shoulders. If I'm releasing all of the burdens that you know what I mean? The burdens of overworking yourself, things like that. And just like connecting stiffness in your body to the condition of, the energy around you. I think that's just, I don't know, it was very nice to organize what my emotions mean physically in my body. I don't know if that, I hope that's that's coming out articulate.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If not, it was a really cool experience.
Interesting.
So it's my highlight.
Wow.
New healing practices, and yeah.
I attended a Reiki session for the first time, and it was very interesting. The part that made me laugh was they were talking about, when you do it, you're not supposed to do it towards anybody. She knows already. You're not supposed to do it towards anybody. So when they're doing it, they're all facing the wall, and they're like, "Yeah, can you get in front of us and take a picture?" And I'm like, "I thought y'all said like y'all not supposed to be sending energy towards anybody. Y'all want me to get in front of it." And I don't know. That tickled me pink because I was like, I feel it, but why y'all trying to throw it at me? I know y'all want me to get the shot, but I ain't gonna take the chance.
I'll put this timer on.
For real, I was like, but I don't know. I just want to say that because when you're talking about it, like the expelling part, I was like, that's immediately what I thought of. They're like, yeah, I know we're expelling right now, but can you catch this photo? Like, yeah.
I'm catching more than a snap.
Don't let me catch a stray out here.
Right.
That's funny. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time. We are. Hold on. I got to put my notes out. Sorry, guys. I just got off work. My brain's still adjusting. But, yeah. Glad to be back. It's been a minute since we sat in these chairs. Took a break. And I was happy about the break, honestly. I didn't realize. I was still on run nonetheless. But I didn't realize how much on run I'd be until I was like man, I got nothing to do on Friday. I have nothing. Like, I literally was at home and I was like, I'm gonna call somebody. Just calling people like, hey, y'all, what's going on? I know I ain't talked to y'all in a minute, but check on y'all. But in that time where we had off, we end up reflecting on the podcast, and I kind of wanted to speak to some of the reflections that we had on the pod. Give me a secundo because I can't find my Google Docs. Yeah, we end up having a meeting at Obo and reflected on some things. Yeah, and I just wanted to talk about those things, be open and honest with the people about the next phase, next changes,
Next chapter.
the growth that's happening with the special friends. So I don't know how to start it.
So this is actually Allie's last episode.
Whoa, not last episode. Last episode as a co-host.
As a co-host.
Yeah, but you said last like she'll never be back.
Allie's part of the family. She'll
Yeah.
always be around.
That's what I said, not last.
She's still part of the media group. But yeah, so that was one of the things that's going to be changing for our next chapter of the pod. So, you have any thoughts on that, or how you feeling?
like we
What
should
are some highlights?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Wuzi?
I was saying I want to flesh that out a little bit more because let me back it up.
Him
Back it
just
up like a,
just fleshing out.
let me back it up like an Escalade. When I first got to Sacramento,
Oh,
I had very little friends.
don't make us cry.
Oh, don't get emotional. I had very little friends. By very little, I mean I had one.
The one you live with.
Yeah, and I live with that person. So you know how that goes. So obviously navigating the world, a new city that you've never been to with nobody you know. You know, especially as being a creative, anybody who's a creative knows it's like not the same making friends with your creative. Because like, oh, I met this dope person, but they have no ambition. So in doing that, I think we've told the story before, but I'll say it again. I met Allie while doing an interview for somebody. I was doing an interview for the Creative Balance Show, and I was actually originally looking to meet Allie to record for that, but enjoyed our conversation and thought having her on Special Friends would be more organic and enjoyable, which it was. We ended up getting, I won't say faded, but we were sipping on something that day at a
Wine.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, let's make it clear.
Yeah, no. What else would we be sipping on? Not the yak. Not at the coffee shop. But yeah, had a great conversation, and then play with the idea of doing this long term, and that's what we did for about, I don't even know how long. Was that 2022? I feel like, because I definitely did the interview with Caleb September 2022. Was it 2022? Yes. Because I didn't, yeah, what?
That was 2022?
I got here October 2021.
Okay. Are you sure it was September of 2022?
That I interviewed Caleb. It was right before the church started.
Oh, was that close to the launch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how I remember. That's how I remember it.
I'm like looking it up.
She's like, I'm trying to look. So that was then, and then I believe it was 2023 when I had asked what your idea on doing it full time. I definitely remember that because I was booed up at the time and I had to get permission.
Like March 2023 or something?
So what was funny?
Not me knowing more than those. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, that March is when we did the episode, but I had met Allie way before that. Like I said,
But I'm saying like the official, like, full-time part.
yeah, March, because we did it in her kitchen at your old apartment. Yep. So, yeah, it's been a journey. It's been fun. we've had a post go viral, which was
Pretty cool.
yeah. I mean, it was cool, but I still stand. Anyways, we don't get started. But yeah, I just want to say, what I'm basically trying to say is that I really, really enjoyed collaborating with Allie in this way, and it's been dope because not only what we talked about before, like I never really saw it as like a coworker thing. It was all, we were obviously friends, or I feel like there was a friendship there as well, and I feel like I've learned a lot about her, and I don't know if she learned a lot about me, but I really appreciate. What's so funny? I can't speak for somebody else.
Yeah.
Stop. Why you distracting me?
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I was really been enjoying this journey with you in general. So I do want to say thank you before I say anything, because I don't want to just be like, Allie gone, but it's like, dang, like I ain't like that, you know. I really, again, one of my first friends in Sacramento, and it was dope. Had a good time, a lot of funny stories, a lot of funny happenings through, was it a year, like almost 2 years. So yeah, I just want to say that before I say anything. But we had the discussion about what's the word I use? Our goals, how those things have changed over the course of the years, and also just the space that we have in our lives for different things. So that's a discussion that we had while we're having our hiatus, and that's where I want to kind of come to you and like, if you're okay, like sharing, what's the words? I guess some of the insights we had in that meeting at Oboe.
Yeah, I think some things we definitely talked about were, having especially for me, a more balanced load. And I know that, showing up in this space in particular, there are a lot of days where my energy is not always super high. It's hard for me to show the same kind of enthusiasm for certain topics also, because I'm a very cerebral person, but because I'm stretched so thin in all the other responsibilities, I don't have, the time to develop out strong topic ideas and advocate for them. And so, yeah, it makes it a little bit sometimes more difficult to, I think, show up consistently authentic. Because for me, and something we talked about is, I do have a lot of real stuff going on in life. And sometimes when you have real stuff going on, it's harder to, I don't know, be so lighthearted in the world. Like there's so many things I want to call attention to. And yeah, so partly just, I think, a difference in, as we've gotten to know each other, a difference in our approach for how we show up online and the way that we like to use our voices. I think that's part of it. But also wanting to leave space for us to do things authentic to us. Like this space I've always respected as, your brain seed child, and I've been very grateful to be part of it, to be invited onto the couch or couches or chairs and be a part of the team. I think it's been incredible for my voice to be heard and to collaborate with you, and now Ariel too. I know, just a lot of new, better experiences, especially with podcasting. So, just, I think, kind of like with some previous experiences, not all things are made to last forever. Not all projects are made to last forever. And I think that's probably maybe one of the underlying threads we kind of talked about, but maybe not as directly at Oboe. I don't know. You let me know if that sounds like a solid recap. But those are some of the highlights I think I would share openly with our viewers.
Yeah. And that, I think that is definitely, I would say that I would agree that's the truth, basically. Like I can't take Ariel, so you can't take Ariel nowhere. I'm supposed to be the one cackling in serious moments, and she the one over there giggling. Don't make no sense.
What do you mean basically, that's it.
That's the whole
What?
truth.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to. I just wanted to recognize what she said. My bad.
Yeah.
My fault.
No, it's
My
just
fault.
the way you phrased it. I'm sorry, I'm silly.
Yeah, obviously.
It's that Red Bull.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, like she said, that's it. I guess. But I did want to again be forthcoming in saying that I've said this to you, but I'll say it again. Like, I never saw the podcast as the end all be all as far as us just doing stuff together. You know, there's a bunch of different projects that I want to do and be a part of. And like I said, this podcast is just a space to, I guess you can say, uplift and like, you know, give people opportunity to connect in a community way. But there's like another space that me and you connect on that we don't get to really showcase on the pod is I guess you could say more of the cerebral, more of the, you know, the topics that people maybe don't do the research on, and diving deeper on those and showcasing those stories and sharing insight in that as well. Yeah, now those things will happen, I would say. So yeah, I just want to say more to come for sure. But yeah, what you got to say, Ariel?
You want to share any of your next steps? Or are you one of the type of people just like, you move in silence?
I do.
Reggie's moving silence,
Yeah,
like lasagna.
I don't know those lyrics, but yes. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I'm taking my time. I'm not in a rush to be anywhere, to prove anything to anybody. Like I said, it's been a privilege to be in this space. I know how much work goes into editing a podcast, to posting regularly, to curating ideas and topics regularly, to even just being committed to recording regularly. So all the behind the scenes work that made it easy for me to just show up and just be recorded, all of that I'm very grateful for, you know. But yeah, now there's some space and time to pour into other passions and projects that I've been working on that I just haven't been it hasn't been in the forefront like Special Friends. I do a lot, and I'm excited to share more of the things that I do. I'm excited to put myself out there in a more dynamic way too. But yeah, I think for me, my next steps are pulling back a little bit and just taking it easy, taking things slow, and, you know, just like this opportunity came to me, letting my next blessing come to me right when it's supposed to.
Right.
So, yeah.
Like when I call you up for my projects.
Yes, girl. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And People for Equity, me and Carissa, my bestie Carissa, we've been doing a lot with People for Equity. We actually have a literacy fair coming up October 24th at the Meadowview Farmers Market. So I feel like, yeah, there's so many other, like you said, more, it just not more intellectual, but I'm very academic. So just more scholastic and also art related things in the future that are coming in either of those paths. So
Well, I would say speak to more to that too. Like what People for Equity, you know, you got an event coming on 24th. What is going to be happening at that event?
I say follow us on People for Equity on our Instagram, where we'll post our flyer and we'll post more about it. We're honestly still in the planning phases of it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I more details to come.
Are you open to like vendors and stuff, or like?
Well, it's at the farmers market, so we are doing it in partnership.
Oh, right.
With some other people. So I don't know. It's actually a project that my bestie Carissa is leading. We switch off in some projects in terms of, you know, who takes the lead.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell my sister about it.
Please do. Yeah.
Because she wants to start a literacy ministry, so I think that's like right up her alley.
Oh yeah.
Alley.
Ours.
Yeah. Nerdy things.
So what is People for Equity do? Like, what's their mission?
Our mission is really to promote and create anti-racist education and promote pro-blackness in communities and education spaces to create pro-black spaces for people to talk about, especially black people, to talk about anti-blackness today, how it's showing up. We both, Chris and I, are very passionate about how racism is often conflated with colorism and so many other factors. But in America, as black people, we really want to get to the root of anti-blackness specifically. Racism, of course, you could argue that it happens to all sorts of people of different races, but we're passionate about making sure the conversation is treated properly around black people. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, like we had Black Book Club earlier this year. We'll have another one later this year. We've been doing Thoughtful Thursdays with Gen Z Speaks Wellness and California Black Women's Health Project, which is creating a safe space for Gen Z to talk about mental health, like boundaries, identity, expression. So, yeah, curating really special places where we can do the soul work for our people, the community and social work for our people, but in an elevated way. We know these conversations can be painful, they can be traumatizing, and for us, it's about using our educational expertise as teachers to make it impactful and make it
and digestible
and heart-centered. So it's a long-winded vision and purpose. I feel like we're still very much defining what People for Equity is and how we function, what we do, but you know, in a very big nutshell, that is kind of what we stand for and why we stand for what we do.
I think that's really important too, especially when you speak to, you know, it's such a taboo topic because like you said, it's sometimes we live in an era where we don't believe that two things can be true. Like, yeah, racism could be a thing, but anti-blackness is also a thing just as much as, you know, racism. It's
a very specific function of racism, you know, and that's something that we feel like it's swept to the side because so many people are affected by racism. But black people specifically, we have these very specific issues in society and within our community that we need space to heal, you know? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's taboo, but we want to make it normal in terms of the healing part.
Yeah, and that's what I think is dope about it because, you know, there's only one way to normalize it, and that's to go through it. And then, like you said, acknowledging it's going to be tough. I think it's pretty dope. I'm glad you're sharing that. Can't wait to hear more about it as well. See more about it as well.
That's also not to say it hasn't been normalized in the black community because I think our works, it's not different than much of a lot of other activists, you know, that are trying to make the black community better. But we're excited to be part of that, you know, be part of that effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm excited.
Exciting new horizons. See what else is over God. Only God will reveal, and only God knows.
Exactly. That's dope. Wow. Wowzers. Oh, that's so funny.
Wowzers.
Sorry, that's my phrase. That's my phrase for the year. It's about to be a year up. I'm about to find a new one pretty soon.
Yep.
But with that, I wanted to get into. I saw that you guys had really connected with the memes that know us so well. Are you weak?
Because they do.
So I wanted to see, like, I saw you guys shared yours, so I kind of want you guys to go lead into it. What just lead into the topic of the memes. Like, Ariel brought it up.
Did I? Oh, I think I did. So basically, we all come across memes online, right? And some of the memes really be calling us out. Or like, you know, if the shoe fits, oh, they talking to me. So one of the memes that stood out to me this past week, I called it a cage bird, but it's basically a drawing, and this guy, the caption is like, my therapist showed me this drawing of basically like how he operated or whatever, and it's a cage with like not really, what would you call those, like
Bars.
It's not really bars around the cage, right? There's only 2 bars, and he's the bird standing at the 2 bars, like basically saying he's caged in, but the rest of the cage is open. And so the follow-up caption, I guess someone else responded to like his, I think it was like a tweet or something. and it says, "I would have been. She would have pissed me off if she would have showed me that drawing." And so I resonated with that because one, I probably would have been pissed off. So I resonated with the person that commented, but also I resonate with the guy because I'm just like, I really do feel like I be creating my own cage at times in different situations and circumstances, and like being very self-sabotage, like, and so it made me laugh on that front, even though it was a serious thing. But that follow-up, she would have pissed me off.
Me and my sister laughed about that for a couple minutes because we were really thinking about the idea of walking into a session and then you getting handed this paper at the beginning of the session, like, I pay you. What are we doing? I mean, granted, that's not a good reason, but that's like the first reason. Like, what? Why are you coming for me? What did I do?
Right.
So that's funny.
Yeah, so I was just like, memes that we can relate to and resonate with.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I think we've all been in that moment before where like, it's like, oh, I'm feeling this way. Why don't you just? No, you don't understand. It's like you making yourself feel that way. No, I'm not. So that's pretty funny. I really saw that one because it's a really good picture too.
Yeah,
had me dead.
It's a really good drawing. He's an artist and a therapist. And a poet.
Yeah, right. Dang.
Her analogy, like,
yeah,
It's good.
Maybe I need to know who his therapist is.
Iron.
That approach might work for me.
Right?
What about you? I say you have one on here, Allie.
Yeah, it's not. Mine is more of like a astrology meme. But it says Cancer. How do you deal with your problems? And then it says Cancer : and it's a bunch of pictures.
Oh, just sleeping,
like just taking naps in all sorts of contexts.
Like a sleeping beauty.
Like a sleeping beauty. And I feel like that's me. I will just go take, if it's a 10-minute nap, 5-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, timeless nap, I wake up a new person. I wake up a better person. I wake up renewed.
You're like a person like, oh, I just didn't eat or I didn't have my coffee. You're like, no, I just didn't have a nap.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if this is true. I have to ask my mom. I don't know if I was one of those toddlers that needed naps regularly. But as an adult, I need them naps when I'm upset.
I learned on TikTok that a while ago, like humans used to take like intervals, like naps throughout the day. It wasn't like a full 8 to 10 hours. It was just like chunks throughout the day. So I'm just like, maybe, a lot of us still need that
full 8 hours.
Yeah, like so.
There have been periods I've lived like that. Periods of time, yeah, with just like longer naps throughout the day.
I saw a guy do a study, and they said if you sleep like that, it doesn't affect you. Like they said, it's just more getting used to and having the space to do it. But he did an experiment. He was like, he would go to sleep for 2-hour periods. So he'll sleep for 2 hours, wake up, do something, go to sleep for another 2 hours. And he said, once you get used to it, he said your body doesn't feel any different. You just, you're just up at, the different hours of the time.
Yeah.
Or he also tried like a 3 and 3 or a 4 and 4. So he would wake up like you would in the morning. And then like somewhere in the middle of the day, he'll go sleep for 4 hours and then wake up and he'll continue his day again. And he'll go sleep close at like later in the night and sleep for 4 more hours. And that's how I was doing it. But I was like, I don't know if I could do that one.
I feel like I'll be like
groggy.
Yeah. Because I've done that before where like I took a nap that turned into a sleep and I wake up like, I was supposed to take a 30-minute nap. I've been asleep for 4 hours. It's now 1 a.m. Like, I don't know. I don't think I can operate the 4-hour one.
No.
Once I'm in sleep for 4 hours, let me just sleep. I think my body's just like,
because you're not used to it yet.
I guess. But it's just like, how long would me, I have to think like, how long would me personally, like, how long would I take for my body to get used to? And is it worth it?
Yeah. I like the also the sleep habit that they say where if you wake up after the first alarm, your body's more likely to be alert when you wake up, and you're not gonna feel as groggy as if you like hit snooze and you sleep a little bit longer. Dang. I've yet to reapply that. I used to wake up on the first alarm when I first found that. I was like, oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I hit snooze now. I'd love to get back to that though, because it
always-
was true. It was true.
Yeah, it's funny too because I've tried the thing where they like put the alarm clock across the room. That does not apply to me. I will get up, hit that alarm, and like nah.
Get right back
bruh.
in bed.
Let me get because I wake up with the cover on my shoulders, so I'm like, yeah, nah, bro, it's cookie. It's cold. It's cold too. Nah, let me go ahead, just lay back in that warm spot.
That might work for me though, because when I wake up, I instantly have to like use the restroom, and then once I use the restroom, I'm
Up.
pretty awake, and then it's hard for me to get back like into that zone. of
Interesting.
Sleep. Yeah.
I never thought about that. Maybe that's what I do. Maybe I gotta go straight to the restroom.
And then you'll stay up.
Maybe.
It's a shower for me. I got to get up and shower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, once I get out of the shower, it's like I'm not laying back down.
Sometimes I get out the shower and want it later.
On the
I'm
weekend,
like,
yeah.
oh, clean again.
Round two.
Right.
Round two.
Sometimes it still have that crisp in the air. And you're like, this is a nice morning to sleep in. In a
Not
clean
sleep
body.
Yeah.
So okay, we got naps. We
Yeah.
got cage birds.
Yeah. Another one, it's not a meme, but something else that resonated with me was a commercial. It was a Lexus commercial. I'm going to read it. It says, the Lexus, I think it's called like an ES or something, is for a person who loves stargazing but hates parallel parking and has a heavy right foot. And it was like Lexus gave this person their, it's a Lexus ES. And the commercial ends with, didn't begin in the studio, it began with you. Like, don't we know you best or something like that? And after I saw that commercial for the first time, I said, you do know me. I felt so seen. But yeah, I was like, I'm not about to go buy a Lexus, but it's good that you thought about me.
Of them saying heavy footed on the right pedal.
Right. Everything just lined up. I was like, yeah, I like stargazing. Yeah, I hate parallel parking. Yeah, I can be a little heavy footed.
It sounds like someone who I know that owns a Lexus.
Right.
So yeah.
On
Maybe
brand.
Yeah,
Some of
on brand.
them.
Maybe that's their demographic, their target audience.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was yours, Wuzi?
The one that I had was it was this did you end up seeing the one? It was
I'll let you explain it.
it was like a TikTok, but it was like one of those posts, and it was like when the caption was like when everybody from high school going through it with a baby mama, but not you because you was always the ugly one in school. And like I only relate to that one because
Stupid.
but it's like so real because most people I went to school with now have babies, and they would most likely had a baby. Most of them had a baby with a significant other they was with in high school or shortly after. And me, I was just not attractive. I didn't have the style yet. I wasn't comfortable enough in my skin, so I was neglected. But I'm like, I lucked out because y'all all like struggling. That's not funny. It's not funny, but it's like a lot of y'all basically have babies and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, I cannot relate. The world is mine right now. So I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna resonate that deeply, but as I sat and thought about it, I was like, I was the ugly kid in high school, huh? I was just like the nice kid, the church boy.
Benefit to you.
So I really related to that one, and there's a bunch of other ones, but there's too many.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch I went through, and I was like, I'm just gonna pick this one.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I send people a lot of funny memes. Not that they're funny, but I think they're funny. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Ali, I have a question for you. So there was this podcast clip I saw online, and it was two men talking, and he was talking about how he read somewhere that women send memes and like funny posts that they believe the receiver is going to find funny, and men send memes and funny posts that they themselves find funny, but maybe the receiver may not have that same humor. And I can say myself, about 80% of the time I experience that. But do you experience that? Like, have you, I know for me, I didn't think about this till I heard it, but have you noticed that within your friends, like your male friends may send you things that they find funny, but
Yes, actually, yes.
yeah.
I don't have a lot of male friends that send me memes.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the memes that I'm sent are from like girlfriends or my mom. And they are memes that where like they think that I'll find it funny.
It's like,
That's
we
what you're
thought you
saying.
ate.
Women do that.
Yeah, like they'll like women be like, oh, I think this person's gonna find this funny
Yeah.
because based on their humor, personality, lifestyle, whatever. And then men are just like, I think this is funny, so everyone
send
should
this.
see it. Like, you know,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah. That's been I would say that's definitely been my experience.
yeah. I was telling him, I was just like, when it comes to humor, that's my experience. But I do have male friends who like send me posts that are not humorous based off my interest, so they have that part. But the humor part is usually their humor, and I'm like, of course you find this funny, but for me it's just like, I get it, but I'm not like hee
ha ha.
Yeah,
Not he.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
I
cackling.
don't know. I don't mean to be like sexist or gendered about it, but there's like a level of crassness that I've experienced with male humor that like I don't feel like with my girlfriends we have that same kind of humor. If it's raunchy, it's not saying women aren't raunchy, but it's just like they're not. What is the word I just used?
Crass.
Crass. Yeah, I don't find that women are quite as crass as male humor when I'm exchanging. But
I relate to that too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that makes sense, right? You got to look at this because crass humor doesn't care anyway.
Right. That's part of the. Yeah.
Interesting.
What
I think that's a good point. My experience, I guess, is different because I don't know. I don't know how I never really thought about the process of how I send a meme, but
I would say on the other end of your sending, like some of it is relative, like to previous conversations we've had, and it relates to like calls back to something funny that we've experienced together, like a memory or something. But then there's other things I'm like, yeah, I know he finds this funny. Probably.
I guess the thought too is like, because it's like, so I have two types of mode when I'm sending memes, because I'm not the type of person who sends memes to everybody, like, which is like so weird. I still think about it. Is like sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna send this meme to these two people, I'm gonna send this meme to these three people, and I'm sending this meme to only this one person. So like a lot of times when I'm thinking about it, like I don't really like, I have friends who send me like 30 memes, and I'm like, bro, you literally send me all these memes and they're boys. You literally send me all these memes because you think they're funny, because I have never found this many memes that funny in one day. And it's just like one after another. I mean, to your point too, there are a lot of times, depending on who the person is, I think a lot of it is based off the character of the person, like the personality of the person. Because a lot of my homies who like were the people who would like disrupt the teacher, theirs are a little bit more on the crass side. And then like my other homies who are more like reserved, theirs are more like I guess you say like, oh, that can quickly go over your head, like high level, but it still has a level of crassness to it, you know? So it's like,
it's passive aggressive.
Yeah. Or I mean, it's like I guess you could say that, like more like almost like you read it the first time, like I don't get it, and you're like, oh.
Oh, okay. That's passive aggressive.
I guess I would say about you though, you don't send me a lot of crass, like.
Yeah, it's not my humor.
Yeah, it's not. I appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I don't experience that much with you either.
Don't be wrong, my friends send me that stuff.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yours be more so centered around like Black culture and like relationships.
That's definitely, I mean, especially when I redid my Instagram, because when I found, I don't know how to do it no more, but I found out a while back that you can like clear your cache basically on your Instagram. It basically resets your Instagram to like, if you made a new account. And once I did that, I had to like strip it down, because I used to follow stuff like, what's that page called? I can't remember the name of that page. But I used to basically follow, think of all the popular meme pages when Instagram first came out. I was following them, and their stuff was like on that level where it's like, you know, like those jokes where it's like the joke it's so out of pocket that people in the comments are saying every day we get farther from the Lord's light. Like it's those types of jokes, and it's like, I find many things funny.
Yeah.
But even though I find some humor in this, it's like this is not what I want to fill my brain up when I get on this app. Like, now my Instagram is more like familial. Just I get some Christian talk, some Christian memes. But don't get me wrong, there's still some of that stuff that gets through the cracks because they realize I'm a guy, so they're trying to like funnel some of that in there. Like, hey.
I never did that with is it Cash or Cache? I never did that, but my Instagram is very curated, even without doing that. So I think there's maybe 4 accounts that I follow that have like trendy memes that pop up. But outside of that, like the content I consume on my personal account is like pretty specific.
Well, it also helps to have 4 pages. I have two YouTube, or 3 YouTubes and 4 Instagrams, and each Instagram has specific stuff that.
Yeah, I have 4 Instagrams too, and they do have specific stuff. But for my main personal one, yeah, it's very. Like my sister be like, I don't go Instagram, and because of I'm like, girl, like, I've never had that issue because I always get like what I want to see. I don't know. I'm like, you need to tap more on things you like or something. I think unfollow or something.
The funny thing too is like now, like realizing what you're saying. Like now, I feel like I'm gonna be like overthinking my memes when I send them. Like, well, this person think this is. I mean, granted, I always feel like I send memes based on the person's humor. Cause I was telling you, like I was seeing the one with when the girl was dressed up like, I don't know, she was wearing that suit.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, is that truly like ha ha he funny to me? No, I think it's funny. So I sent it to you and I sent it to my sister because I thought y'all could relate to it. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I do think it's funny because it's like, girl. But I don't know.
I feel like I sent you that song. There was a song I sent you that I had a friend in the past. We're not friends anymore, but sent me this song that was super.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
That was nuts.
That's what I'm talking about by Crass.
Yeah, that was nuts.
I can't remember the artist or the name of the song. I don't remember.
Okay, I vividly remember. I don't remember the song, but I vividly remember the expression on my face when we both listened to it. I was just like, oh. And didn't have the nerve to say it was a joke.
I have to find the song so you know what I'm referencing.
It's nuts.
If it's anything like that new song that's out, have y'all seen it? It's like a group of women, colorful outfits, very black girl magic, and they're in front of this like colorful house.
No.
And they're all rapping a verse, and then like a few days, I don't know if it was a few days or maybe a week later, a group of guys had a response song come out, and so they have the same setup like in front of a colorful house. And it's like super vulgar. It's really funny. But like, yeah, if it's anything like that, I get it. Because they were talking about some stuff on that song.
I don't know if it's like that. I think hers was just more like out of pocket.
I'm gonna find it, and we'll get. Yeah.
We'll circle back to this. That's funny. But yeah, that was. We're on. No, I thought. I feel like everybody. My aunt calls them memes, by the way. But so I always like to reference memes as memes because I think it's funnier.
I think it's funny too.
Because she always. I remember we were at the restaurant. I used to work with my aunt at the restaurant, and that's her favorite thing to say was, "That's your problem. All y'all do is sit on that phone all day and look at the memes." And it's like, my auntie is so funny. Like, why are you that way? But yeah, I wanted to get into some of the current events. Because on the topic of memes, there's a meme that's been actually that should technically be my meme that I relate the most to. I don't know. So to tell the story, there was a post on TikTok it was a post on Twitter that went crazy. That then TikTok basically the new Twitter that also started to go up. And basically what happened was there was a guy who posted a picture of him holding his baby, and he looks happy. He looking at the baby in his face, holding the baby close to his face. And, it's like an admirable picture, like, wow, like black fatherhood. Beautiful.
They're doing skin to skin.
Yeah, like they're doing skin to skin. It was like a beautiful moment. He shared it on Twitter and was like, it's a girl, some. He then follows up with that message. Look, I think it was like a couple months later with the following message: "She ain't mine. Period. Ball up top with the walking emoji."
What does ball up top mean, by the way?
Oh, so you don't know? We're about to educate you. So when you play one-on-one basketball, technically it could be anything, any kind of basketball, but specifically in one-on-one, if I'm going for a drive and you foul me, which is usually like you hit in my hand or something like that, which you're not supposed to do, you stop the play and you restart the play from the top. Then you usually be like ball up top. So in this context, he's basically saying like she did something foul and now we're starting from the beginning. Not with her, obviously, but like back
to square one.
Yeah.
Back in the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
So now everybody's using the term ball up top, and it's my favorite term of all. Like they're talking about this. People were doing like think pieces on it, talking about this is probably one of the best phrases we've heard in years. This is probably going to be one of those phrases that we use for like 5 years to a decade from now. And I don't know. I want to ask y'all, like, what are y'all thoughts on that concept?
I like the concept of the phrase. Like, it's like, dust yourself off and try again, you know? But like, dust yourself off and try again. So like, I can get with the phrase, but it's just the origin. It's just like, dang, bruh, I feel you.
But did you have to do her like that?
Yeah, like publicly.
Yeah.
What? But I feel you. Like I probably would be. I mean, I don't know because it was like 3 or 4 months later. So it's like you done bonded with this little girl. Like, but at the same time, it's just like he did say this publicly. We don't know how he's feeling behind the scenes. It probably was a lot for him to process.
Man,
but.
Oh man.
But it's just like
not him being bold enough to say that publicly, but dealing with the harder feelings behind the scenes.
I mean, that happens.
Yeah, I could see that, I guess, for like,
especially because you think about if the post blew up and people are still liking and commenting on it.
He was like, let me just go ahead and put this out here. They keep liking it like it's a intimate, like, you know, like wholesome moment. Let me tell them the truth.
I mean, let them make sure they don't have it twisted.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you know what? I probably would have.
Well, yeah, it's the purpose of clearing the air. Maybe there's like context that I didn't all the way hear because I was trying to find that song.
Well, yeah, basically he just had a baby. The baby was just doing skin to skin with the baby. Granted, it's like there's not like nobody went into depth about the story, and I hope they don't because, you know, we don't need to hear that. That's y'all business. But basically, he was just, you know, having a fatherly moment. Shared it on Twitter. Was happy, and then some months later,
he updated the tweet
saying she ain't mine.
Ball up top.
No, that's fair. That's fair game. I think that's kind of fair game, unfortunately.
Well, the thing too was like some people felt like you said, some people still feel like he was wrong.
I mean, because there is an innocent child in the middle of the story, you know. So it's like you're also airing out their dirty laundry or origin story. And if you have respect for the child's future, because this story will forever live online. And when they get older, this story gonna forever live online. Like in that regard, I think it's very important. But so tact. But then at the same time, it's important for him to have control over his narrative. Like, there's no need for people to be thinking that a baby's his if it's not. So it's kind of, but it's hard. Oh gosh, that's hard. I guess
my thing is, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of like that he responded to it instead of deleting it.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Because it's like you said, people are like retweeting it, liking it, commenting after all these months, and I keep getting notifications, and I'm like, this ain't even it. Like, I think I would have been in my feelings or like been like, let me just.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Social media is a new beast.
But the way that people can just share their hurt when there's so many other people that are involved in that happening, you know, I just think that that's an interesting phenomena of social media. How other people can be a witness to pain that you have no permission being out, like that story being out there, but because there's more than one person involved in the story, that information is out there. Because they, you know what I mean?
But then they feel like, well, it's my story.
And it so is to an extent.
Yeah.
But
I think I do want to pivot on this because the point that you're making is something I did think of literally recently is that because I was thinking about like what you're saying, like people share these intimate moments to the public.
Right.
So I was like, man, I was thinking about how weird that is.
Yeah.
But then I saw something that said that most people post not with the idea of people seeing it, but more from an emotional space when they posted something. Like if you ever look at an old auntie's page and you see 3,000 posts and it's just like them sharing their funny memes with like their own little caption, like I understand that. So I'm like thinking like, you know, Instagram, social media is so weird in that way that these people could have possibly just been like just sharing something off the whim, probably only get like 10 likes a post, and this happened to resonate with somebody and it blows up.
Yeah.
Which then, like you said, causes further damage because you were just sharing it to the 10 people who follow you. But because your page is public, now it can blow up and go to other people. It be sent to other people. That is such a...
It's too much. It's too much access.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, I do remember a time when I felt like social media was more of an open diary, like your open feelings and emotions and experiences. And now it feels like it's more of a photo album of your life's highlights. And, you know, that there's more space for people to judge what they're seeing. And also there's a lot more curating of a narrative when it's a photo book, because it's like scrapbooking. Like, look at this experience as I've packaged it, as opposed to before you would get a post of me crying from whatever reason it was, or you know what I mean, like a short on stories. Crying would be appropriate back in the day on social media. Venting.
I know, especially Facebook. Like, if you go through my Facebook, like posts from like 2011 and 2012, like I was posting like, "Well, catch up with me. This is what life is like right now." Things, but now, like you said, it's not really a safe space for that anymore.
Well, I would say I feel like if you're gonna do that, make your page private.
Yeah,
And because at first I didn't understand like why people make their page private, but now I've gotten to the point.
Like you have to think about, you have to be very selective about who follow you too, because people screenshot, screen record, repost it from their burner page.
You can't help that.
Yeah. So it's just,
That's a good point.
It's tricky. With
It's a
social
wild,
media.
wild west out there on social media these days.
That's what we're gonna go with. Just never know.
Just never know.
So like what y'all let me ask y'all this then from that framework. How would y'all have navigated that situation? Would you have just deleted the post?
I probably would have just deleted the post, but I liked because it's like, honestly,
There's a realism about it.
yeah, I think that's what I like. It's just like, because honestly, I think I would have been in my feelings if I kept getting notifications about it and keep being reminded that this child don't belong to me.
Yeah.
And I'm processing it and navigating that situation, but they think we like this happy family and
Yeah.
I'm enjoying fatherhood. Like, I don't know. I can't say what I would have did, but I think knowing myself in the now, I probably would have just deleted it. But emotions, you just never know. Like, sometimes emotions really lead your actions, and I probably would have said something irate. Like, yeah. But I think without me being in a circumstance, I probably would have deleted it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I would have said anything. I'm such a private person. I don't really, even in like a hurt like that, I wouldn't want to share. I don't know. I don't think 4 months later I would be in a place where I was ready to like talk about that publicly.
Yeah.
Tell my
I think
story.
people who needed to know would know, but yeah, if it went viral, I probably would be deleting it just because it's like I'm not trying to have this be a perpetuated narrative. At least not with me as a source. If y'all want to screenshot this for whatever other purpose, I can't control that. I would hope it wouldn't be the case, but like,
Yeah.
you know,
It ends up on Black Fatherhood, that page.
I love that page, by the way.
I love that page. It's so beautiful. But like, imagine if his tweet ended up on that page and then they had to like take it down or like
Yeah, see? So, yeah, I wouldn't have. But I'm not petty like that. I don't really. I'm going to tell anything that I have to say that's slick like that. I'm going to tell directly to the person. I don't really need the whole world to see
I'm sure he said it.
my smart mouth. Only people need to see that when it's necessary to apply, in my humblest opinion. I don't really like even being in that space.
Right.
Y'all gonna be mad at me.
Being brought to that frequency.
Ariel was rubberhead.
But I used to sub tweet and stuff like that.
Oh, I love a good sub.
I haven't done that. Well, I
miss
haven't been
subtweeting.
on Twitter in a while.
I deleted my Twitter. I don't.
I just re-downloaded it
Oh girl. Oh.
like 2 months ago.
Why you say it like that? I just read
I re-downloaded it 2 months ago, and so it's in my phone.
Degeneracy on Twitter right now.
And now I activated my account like 2 nights ago, so we'll see how it goes. But
Okay.
I went on there. It hasn't my
Algorithm's looking good.
yeah, it looks fine.
Well, the main reason I got off Twitter is because Twitter used to be only people you followed. Now it's more like an Instagram where
They just throw in.
they could throw in other stuff, and that's where that defeats the whole point of why I even have Twitter.
Yeah.
The whole point, I don't want to see everybody tweet. I want to see my friends' tweets and who I follow tweets.
Yeah.
So we
And
can
that's
be
it.
kiki.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would have responded to it. But with context, I think the only reason I would have responded to it, because as I was thinking about what y'all was saying, because if you want to take it back, I don't think I ever would have posted it, to be fair. I don't think I would have posted a picture like that. But because I posted a picture publicly, and I think about like the long-winded effects of it as well, like if I just deleted it, people gonna just reach out like, hey bro, what happened? I think I saw a picture of you with a daughter or something. Like, you got a kid now, right? I think to not have that situation is easy for me to be like, hey, ball up top, she ain't mine.
Because that can go on for years. Like people coming up to you, haven't seen in a while, like, oh, like your daughter should be like 6 now, right? And you're just like, yeah, that's true.
So now with the ball up top, it clears the air, and I don't have to have that awkward conversation forever. But again, like you said, at the dismay of somebody else, especially if people who are close to that situation know the girl, and that's how you found out, like, man, him and Shay Shay really they like goals couple, this and that, whatever. And then now you see ball up top, you're like, oh wow, I didn't think Shay Shay had it in her.
Also, I didn't know he was over it so quickly or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, oh, okay. But I see your reasoning too, just like not having to have that conversation over and over again, like every time you run into someone.
So that's why I said, like, it's more.
I can relate to that.
Yeah,
'Cause I never posted about like my divorce or anything, so I have conversations like this.
Still.
yeah.
It's like when the time is right, then you make that post. And maybe for him, that was his time. Like 4 months in
Yeah.
to that truth, it was his time. But why are you laughing?
I was laughing because it was a post, because when you're saying that, like at the right time, there was a post of this girl, and you know that dance where it's like
Oh yeah.
they do in a circle. She's doing that, and the caption is like, "We're finally finalizing it," and it's like her dude in the background signing the divorce paper. She in the front just.
Send it to me so I can
And I
add it
said-
to my content folder.
I said, "Oh my god, that is hilarious," but that is so dumb. Because he sees the camera, he goes, he gets all upset. I was like, not her just gigging. That's funny.
I can't wait till I'm in that position.
Oh gosh, I'm still
I like that little dance too.
I'm still your team brother. Sorry, sir. But yeah. What else we got on here, guys? What stood out? We just gonna go. Let's full send it. So, guys, we had a segment idea. Well, I had a segment idea, and I shared it with Ariel. And why you like making that face?
Because I was laughing at you, like, you wrote notes.
You did.
And it came so like,
Yeah.
it was so flow. It was,
Yeah.
I was in flow.
Flow state.
Yeah.
But basically, I don't know if anybody who's been paying attention to social media and the internet knows that cancel culture is a thing. People get canceled. But especially if you've been paying attention right now, there's a lot of people who they're trying to cancel at the moment. So we thought it would be fun, or I thought it would be fun. Sorry, that we will go through some of these scenarios and we give our thoughts on it, but also put our stamp on if we think they're going to get canceled or not.
Okay.
So we got a few. So I guess we could say a few rulings to go through. But the first one is a softball. It's the diddler. We've all heard about the diddler. Or as Ariel put it right here, the baby oil menace. Sorry. Sorry. But obviously, I'm not going to go long-winded. There's a lot of information out there on him. But P. Diddy has officially been arrested on racketeering charges and sex trafficking. When they pulled up to the spot, they found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil
And lube.
and lube. And yeah, I'm not gonna go too much deeper. I want to ask y'all think he getting canceled?
Yes. I think he's getting canceled.
I think he already has been canceled.
Yeah. I think Hollywood is falling. And
Oh yeah.
As it should.
looking forward to it. Sorry.
Looking forward to
Sorry.
it.
I'm not supposed to wish bad on folks, but yeah, I think he's already been canceled, and I don't think he has a comeback, whether he does time or not.
I think he fights his case.
He might. It don't matter though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
There's way too many. I think there's way too many people coming out with their own stories.
and lawsuits and evidence and receipts.
Only so much fighting one man can do.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't win, but you know what? The fighting, it's like there's like two parts of me. Like there's like a part of me that I say like this: the only reason I want him to fight is because I want people to be exposed, and not the victims, but more the people who are involved.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling he's not going to do that, and it's going to be one of those things where the diddler gets locked up, and then everybody else who's involved just keeps on going on with their lives.
Right.
And I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, he's going to get canceled, but I was thinking about that.
I think people are already getting exposed even before the court case. So I guess it's happening.
Well, I just say,
Yeah,
I only say because
solidify it.
based on the Epstein case, I think only one other person got arrested and locked up, the woman.
Ghislaine
Yeah.
Maxwell. Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure it was a lot more people
Involved.
with that. So for only two people to really be,
Well, there are still a lot of people whose reputations were damaged from the Epstein trial, and I think that's what's happening with Diddy. Is
yeah,
even if there's not a lawsuit brought up against people that were involved. I mean, J-Lo's under fire right now.
Yeah.
Pink's under fire even right now.
Ashton Kutcher and
Ashton
Mila.
Kutcher. Yeah, there's so many like
Will Smith.
I know someone's off
favorites.
about them.
They've been
Yeah.
Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the chopping block
They're
right
claiming
now.
that the cheesecake
Was for Beyonce
for Beyonce
from making the band.
And so people are like fighting for their lives for Beyonce. Like, even if it was for her, she didn't have them do it. Like, she didn't know that Diddy had them doing that to get her cheesecake. And I'm just like, y'all was there. Okay.
The hard thing is too though, because there's also like accusations about Mary J. Blige.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot-
I saw the Mary J.
And you got to think about like how many of these women were also victims of abuse and not just like participating or participants. So that's the hard part about with all this narrative being out there. And at minimum, yeah, he's going to definitely, he's already canceled. But in terms of everybody else's involvement, it's hard because I'm curious, like, how to make sense of perpetrators, victims, and there could be people that performed as both, honestly, that were both victimized and also perpetuators of the problem.
And it's just like, how do you, like, you want to hold them accountable, but you also want to acknowledge like their own experience with abuse and yeah, it's a lot.
It is. So he's getting canceled.
You need a gavel for this segment.
That's why I said I was like, I wish I had a gavel, but I didn't know where to get one. I didn't know how to source a gavel. Is it gavel or gabble?
Gavel.
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 Gavel. So the next one is a weird one.
Yeah.
Ariel brought this one to my attention.
Okay.
They're trying to. So James Earl Jones, rest in peace, passed away as an old man, and obviously he's some of the classic names around the industry. But what usually happens when someone passes is they go into the archive and they pull up clips to share because some people are just trying to get views off of the back of it. And in that, a lot of interviews have come up of him saying, what'd you say?
Anti-black women statements.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Like reasons why he don't date black women.
Yeah. And one of the things was they're masculine and some other things he said in one interview. And then the other interview that I saw, it wasn't specific towards black women, but it was more around like blackness. And so it basically my timeline went from let's honor James Earl Jones. We have clips of him doing his voiceovers and his different acting and like, ooh, he was fine as a young man. And then literally maybe less than 2 days later, it was
I take it all back.
I've taken back my condolences. And I was like, wait, what happened? And it was all these clips of him just like kind of like speaking negatively around the black experience but mostly around black women. And I was just like, dang.
So, yeah, with that information, is James Earl Jones going to get canceled?
Like in society or personally? How do
In society.
Do you think is going to go to the point where like, I guess I'm going to say the black community. Do you feel like the black community is going to
Black people allowing
No.
too much.
erase?
No, there's there's also just so many black successful men who are colorist in terms of their dating preference. It's already very rampant and we are already aware of it. So, and they're not canceled. They're still happily able to spew their rhetoric.
Yeah.
So no.
I think the funniest part about James was like, some people were like, well, he was young then. And then he showed
You know the older clip of him saying the same thing? I saw that. I said, yeah, that was when I was at a podcast. I said, not that he was young, didn't even do your research.
and it was like him like 12 years ago saying the same stuff.
That's not cool.
But yeah,
That's disappointing to hear.
well, yeah, it's always
Absolutely.
disappointing.
It was just more the way that, I don't know. The thing that's been tickling pink, I was telling her the other day, the thing that tickles me pink is the way that people find out information. So finding out that way is so hilarious in an uncomfortable way. Because
Who wrote this on the was that you, Ariel, taking shots from the grave?
Yeah,
Because
he is.
that's what I feel. I don't know if that's what you're speaking to, Najar, but it is kind of interesting how he lived his whole life being revered and respected, and then 2 days after he passes, now the truth
I was
comes
like, hold on.
or is more. But yeah.
I was actually talking to Honey about that a few months ago because he was saying like there's been pastors, for similar. There's a lot of allegations going on in the Christian community around like pastors and leadership. And I forgot the pastor's name, or like, I don't know if he was actually a pastor or if he was just like a theologian, is how you say it. But he was like really respected, but all the allegations came out after his death. Mm-hmm. And so Honey was saying like, I wish like, of course you can't control when someone comes forward and stuff, but like, I wish they would have came forward so he can, one, if he did do it, he can, have justice for whatever he was being accused of, for that, the victim or whatever. And also like hear his story too. And I was thinking about that with James Earl Jones, because it's just like, I wonder what he would have said if he could have responded.
We got enough. We have enough proof of what he would have said.
He could have been like, 6 months ago I found Jesus and he told me about how the black woman is.
That man was set in his beliefs.
But yeah, so it just made me kind
Sorry.
of think of that too. It's just like a lot of things
What
do
his
come
story
out.
been?
Yeah, after the death, you're just like,
Well, yeah, and also like even when he was living, it probably whomever had these stories to tell. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to put those stories out and go up against somebody who has that kind of background and history and legacy, and especially in the Black community. And then also to think you have to go through this whole process of proving your story, and then hearing this person, either tell the truth or lie, whichever,
Right.
or spew more of that same nasty rhetoric, and then you further traumatize yourself. I could totally see how survivors find it easier to tell the truth after somebody's no longer a threat to their story. But it is kind of like an interesting time to choose to tell the truth.
yeah.
But sometimes that's, I guess, people's ultimate karma. He lived a long life with a very nice legacy, and to die, to only have 2 days of real condolences.
It had to be 12 hours.
Oh my God. Like, I think that says a lot.
Right.
I think that says a lot, but I don't know.
Interesting.
That's sad.
Are we all consensus of like he's not actually gonna get canceled? Like he's gonna be
I don't think people
recognized and yeah, I feel that.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
if it was an individual decision, it'd be a different conversation. But
Yeah.
Interesting. I wanted to say too, on the topic of going to the past, the Shits and Gigs podcast have also been on the court, been in the mix, and
you're just talking about how you like their podcast.
I don't know. You know how many people said that recently? Said the same things like, man, I was just talking about how just getting into their stuff.
Yeah, because like I think I told you guys this. Like I would see their clips on TikTok for like the past like 2 years. Like me and my sister were like, oh, this segment was funny, and send it to each other. But I didn't really start listening to their podcast, like full episodes, or like really tuning into their YouTube channel until maybe like 3 months ago, literally. So it's just like, dang.
Well, the funny thing too is that I found out that, which is because like you're saying, like I've always known who they were, but I never watched it, and I found out the majority of their audience is specifically women, and then there's a sizable amount that are Black women.
Right.
So when this came out, it's only funny because I love when the truth comes out. So I will say that I'm laughing more because it's like y'all thought y'all was slick, but nonetheless, what happened is podcast Shits and Gigs. James and Fuhad, am I saying Fuhad?
Yeah.
They recently were in Atlanta, and they did a podcast with two Black ladies in Atlanta, in which they asked them, "What was your experience like in Atlanta? How's it been?" And they said they're having a great time, but everybody in Atlanta is clapped. Tell me they've seen about 2 or 3 baddies since they've been in Atlanta. And, at first I heard the clip and I was like, I guess. I didn't really know. I'm like, okay, like, well, I don't even know what that means.
Because I watched that podcast. I watched Poor Minds. So I had seen the episode. I had the same response at first. I was like, if they didn't find no one attractive, like, whatever, like.
It's whatever.
Yeah. So that started to, like, blow up because I've never been to Atlanta, but I've seen many pictures of Atlanta airport. And in the airport alone, I've seen a lot of beautiful people. My cousin FaceTimed me, and I'm like, man, I'm jealous. Not like that, but I'm saying like this beautiful, like people who look attractive.
Oh.
I know you were making a face.
Yeah, I was like, wait. So just seeing that from my cousin FaceTiming me, to think like y'all was there for multiple days on end and y'all talking about y'all never saw a baddie.
Yeah. They were there for 4 days.
Yeah. I've
They
been
had multiple shows.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was already like, so people was going in on that like, bro, what do y'all like? Y'all obviously must not like Black women, whatever. So that was the narrative. So, people start doing their sleuthing. So they They put up an old podcast clip. The first podcast clip I saw them bring up was, it was like somebody's like, "What do y'all expect?" This is what they said about Seattle. Which, if you ain't never been to Seattle, there ain't many black folks in Seattle.
Yeah.
Man, Seattle had the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. This, that, and that, and then that. Some of the best, like some of the most beautiful women. I was looking, I was like, dang, y'all blew it. Y'all blew it. Y'all completely blew it out the water. But then as they went deeper, the clip that came out that blew up was they did a podcast with Andrew Schultz, and Andrew Schultz had made a joke that black women stressing men out, black men, or the black woman effect or something like that.
Yeah.
Where like
Girlfriend effect.
yeah, like they get a black girlfriend, they stress out so bad that they lose their hairline. Which, okay, I didn't really, and then they laughed, like awkward chuckle.
Yeah, and then he said something along the lines of they dress that way to protect themselves from getting hit or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So made those
It's about like being yelled at.
yeah.
Whatever.
So he made these jokes, and then so that was like the nail in the coffin. Like, oh, y'all just, what y'all expect? They don't protect black women. They don't like. It's because they don't like black women and they like white women. Like the narrative is completed.
Yeah.
Get them up out of here. We and even then, I don't even think there was even a canceling happen. It's more like black women's like, we're just taking ourselves out the pot. Obviously,
reckoning.
Obviously, y'all not for us. Let me get up out of here. So they end up starting to take down a whole bunch of clips, which is already a red flag. And then they made this little fugazi apology video.
Yeah. I didn't even finish it. I saw it. I was like, oh, they're apologizing? Okay. And
Did
then
you watch the beginning of it?
I watched the beginning. Like
You
the
see
first-
Fu with his head down?
Yeah.
He looked like when you getting in trouble, but you feel like it wasn't your fault. That's how he looked. This wasn't even me. So that's how he was looking, and made a little fugazi apology that obviously nobody thought it was. I don't think anybody thought it was genuine.
Yeah, they're basically claiming like all their laughter was out of awkwardness and like trying to not like cause waves or whatever. And it was just like,
Nah, I'm gonna say something. They did piss me off in that video. They said that no, because they didn't say awkwardness. They said they laughter came out of fight or flight,
oh yeah, they did.
and
Fight
that
or flight, right?
that pissed
That was
me
a
off.
nail in the coffin, I think.
I said fight or flight.
So you chose flight,
Yeah.
basically.
I liked all the think pieces that came from.
Oh yeah.
this. I enjoyed it.
It was a bunch of crazy stuff.
I don't know if they're gonna make a comeback, and
I mean, they're still posting, but
Yeah, I don't think they're getting
I've
canceled.
unsubscribed.
yeah, I
And
mean,
YouTube keeps showing me. So I think it was yesterday night. I put not interested.
Yeah, not interested.
well, what's crazy is I actually remember seeing them a lot on YouTube Shorts, and thinking to myself, oh, interesting. Like some of these clips are funny, but I thought that their content was more for men. So when I tried to watch an episode, for me, what I picked up was like red pill, but like
Really?
new, like mild
Maybe
red
they're
pill.
old stuff. Maybe they're old stuff.
Yeah, because like they would be going through like tweets and stuff that people would be saying, and it was to me sounding like a lot of like men's stories and tweets and things like that. Because then they would always be talking about like how women would be in a relationship, dating or performing in sex and things. So to me, I was like, I don't feel like I'm part of their demographic anyway.
This ain't for me.
This is not for me.
Maybe
But
I'm a man.
I'm also just disappointed about the Andrew Schultz thing, because I've watched his podcast here and there, and I can very much appreciate sometimes how he talks, the angle in which he talks about certain topics. But the one thing I've never really liked about his approach in comedy and just like his character, he doesn't apologize. Andrew Schultz doesn't apologize when he offends people. It doesn't matter who or how many, he will not apologize.
Because all he did this time was throw them underneath the bus.
And the racist, the anti-black jokes about.
I mean, like, he didn't apologize, like you said. He just threw them underneath the bus.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And that's his shtick, pretty much. Him. But there's a black man on Andrew's team, and I've always felt that way about Alex, that he never speaks up for Black women. He's always been the type that's spewing that same rhetoric that Shits and Giggles also whatever they're called, Shits and Giggles, whatever.
You gotta put asterisks when you say Black Man by Alex. I don't claim Alex.
Oh, so
I'm curious if the culture
men
would
have already canceled Alex.
have Black men
I've
canceled him.
Black men
I've
unsubscribed.
canceled Alex a long time ago.
Okay.
Because Alex, so like there's a thing in, so context. The only reason I'm in the podcast is because of Andrew Schultz and Charlamagne and God. Lily, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have watched or listened to a single podcast to this day. So those are the first two people. So I've always been a fan of them. As they grew, Alex Media, which is Alex, has become their media person, and he has his own business on the side and things that way, XYZ. And again, personally, I have nothing against Alex. I don't know that man, but the things that he has said on Flagrant specifically, like openly kind of being like, oh, I don't date Black women, I date white girls, this and that, whatever. And like even on some episodes saying he's not Black because I think his mom speaks Spanish or something like that. Like he's Afro-Latino, I'm not Black, or like he basically don't recognize with his Blackness a lot of times. And that stuff for me, I've always been like, I don't really. But then he wants to get a Black joke off, which I don't get. Like, how you gonna get the Black joke off and use the N word, but you also don't claim this side? Like, like Ariel, no, I make the joke all the time. I'm a hood nigga before I'm anything. So like all my stuff is from that realm, and I really don't go far from it. So when I be seeing people like, oh, I'm not Black, but then you also want to make it don't register to me. So when people have been making the thing that, oh, where is Andrew Schultz getting this insight about? Because obviously these things that he's saying is not something that he experienced because he never dated Black girls and stuff like that.
Actually, he has.
Oh,
that came out.
Oh, he did.
They said he's operating from a hurt, bitter place.
Oh,
because apparently he dated a.
Now it makes sense, Andrew.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
That's why I was like, I've appreciated the pieces that came out about this.
Yeah.
See,
There was one particular one when a Black woman was giving all the responses that Shits and Gigs could have gave. That was dope. And then there was a few about Andrew. They dug into his past. He dated a Black woman a few years back, and apparently apparently he was hurt by it.
Yeah.
And they said obviously he's still hurt because
even though he's married,
right?
What a baby.
Apparently the Black woman was attractive and had things going for herself, and
he gives me that he would have been into Black women. Like,
Same.
he doesn't give me that he's anti-Black. So, but that is unfortunate that that experience has transformed into that.
But also
hope he finds
not
healing.
disregarding Alex's role in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the thing was that again, because they were just saying like Charlamagne was probably the one who told him all this stuff, in which I'm not going to say Charlamagne didn't, because again, I don't cape for anybody I don't know. But at the same time, like if any of that came about, I would say that came from Alex, because he's the only one who's like I've been in situations where people make anti-Black jokes, whether it be about Black men or Black women, and I'm always been the firm one, like, I don't think that's funny, or I'm like, yeah, but like there's like more to it. And to see him never do none of that, it's like, not to mention you are the behind the scenes guy, so you look over the topics, so it's like,
right,
you know what I'm saying, like, you can cut it out too, so it's like,
yeah,
so many levels. That
was Andrew's apology. We had a review of the tape, and they told me to edit out these parts. They didn't tell me to edit out those parts. I was like, dang,
so dirty. Oh my
so
god,
that
I love that. I ain't gonna lie.
more.
I ain't gonna lie. That part had me dead though.
No, yeah, like,
because that's some real deal.
I was like, dang.
I feel like Andrew Schultz is what I meant by like how male humor is crass. Like, there's just a level of, I don't care how offensive this is, because it's funny to me. That's not an excuse, but it does kind of bring back the point I was trying to make earlier about that.
Yeah. So do y'all think Shits and Gigs is getting canceled?
I think what you said about like just Black women removing themselves out of that space and out of their supporters. I think that's definitely happening. As far as them continue to have a platform and continue to be supported outside of us, I think they still might have a shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of us for sure.
The fact that they're a UK podcast, I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah.
That's
Probably. Probably.
Yeah, I don't.
And they'll probably do some pandering with Nella or something like that. I could see them like trying to clean up their reputation with the black women that they have.
Yeah.
You know, frequently on their show. But you said what you said. And I mean, people can change too. That's not to say, like, I've been hurt too. So I do understand speaking from a hurt place. But
I think something came out about Nella recently. Was it Nella or Netta? I can't remember. I won't.
I leave Nella alone, all right?
I won't.
I love Nella. I think
I love
she's.
Nella Rose on my heart.
I won't.
It's unfortunate.
Speak on it because I can't remember which name I saw. But yeah.
So,
Maybe Nella's not involved with their podcast like she is with the other guys. I could be wrong.
oh, you talking about the what's the
You know what I'm talking about? He's like
She's-
Philly and whoever.
Philly and Chunks?
No,
Chunks,
she's.
yeah.
They've been on her podcast and she's been on theirs.
Okay, so yeah, they do. They are cool. Okay, well, yeah.
All right, we got one more.
Okay.
Takara Williams.
I did not see what happened with Takara actually.
Takara is wild to me.
I haven't stayed tuned since last week, but
Go ahead.
so basically, do you know who Samara or is it Samara? Samira? I think it's Samira. Do you know who Samira is? She blew up over the pandemic because she's a really great singer. She's like what do you call it? Professionally trained through like education, and she could sing, write, all the things, right? She's plus size black girl, and she has a huge following for her talent, but also because she's an advocate for plus size women. And so she has this series that she's been doing for a few years, around like going to just regular clothing stores and kind of giving her review of like if she feels like their clothing is inclusive for plus size women or not. Mm-hmm. And before we even get to the Takara part, I think I told you this part already, but a few weeks prior, before the Takara thing pop up, she had reposted or like stitched whatever this guy doing a 50-something minute YouTube video about her because of the series. Almost an hour-long YouTube video, in depth, talking about.
She's been doing this for years.
She's been doing this for years. Get over it. Da, 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 da. And then he moves from that and starts talking about her hair and everything else, right? Just like going down a laundry list of like all the things he hates about this girl. And so like at that point, I'm like, you're doing an hour-long YouTube video about me. Like, you're obsessed with me, right? So this was already in my mind. Like, I didn't realize people cared this much about this girl and like the series that she's doing.
You're talking about Samira or Takara?
Yeah,
Okay,
Samira. So 3 weeks later, the Takara thing happens. So Takara makes a video basically saying how you've been plus size and 3X for too long, basically, is what she's saying. And it's unhealthy, and maybe you should lose weight to fit into the plus size clothes that are available in the stores. And she goes into saying like, I was plus size, or I'm still plus size technically, but I lost the weight and now I'm in a 1X and you're still in a 3X and blah, 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 blah. So she came off like very aggressive, very whatever, right? And so Samira responded, I think once, maybe, kind of like showed it, stitched it, but she didn't like really say much on it. She posted it and kept it moving, right? But Samira has a huge following. Takara has a decent following, but Samira has a huge following. So people saw Samira's post and was like, well, who's this woman Takara? Like, people didn't know who
Takara Williams.
Yeah,
is?
like Samira's
Is her population Gen Z? A lot of
Samira's population is mostly Gen Z.
Yeah, because Takara, I would say, is probably more like millennial era.
So they were like, well, who's this Takara woman like talking all this mess? So of course they went to her page And then from like people gravitating to her page and saying what they wanted to say and protect Samira, she goes on this like 5-day rant of constantly posting, and Samira's not responding at this point. Like she's constantly posting, talking to herself, basically, going on Instagram live back to back, posting on Instagram, just all the things, like literally crashes out.
Is it in response to Samira's people or in response to?
I think it was because of Samira's people went over and like made comments and stuff.
Yeah.
And so the next time I see it, Samira's live, and all I see in the comment is like, girl, she's still on live right now talking about you. And at this point, Samira's live is just about her typical content. Like she's not even addressing Takara. So she's just like, people are going to do what they want to do. Like she's still not addressing this woman. The only way she addressed her was like she'll play a clip and she'll do like going on about her business, and like that's how people stay informed that she's talk about her. So basically, I go over to Takara's Instagram, just like, what is she actually saying? And she was saying what she was saying, unfortunately. And I'm going through the comments, and there's like maybe 5% of the people agreeing with Takara, like, yeah, people need to like focus on their health, and you're trying to look out for her, and blah 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 blah. And then the majority of the comments like, no, you're fat phobic. Like it got into this point where it's just like you're insincere about your approach and intention behind this message. And it was just a back and forth, right? One of the last videos she made was like supposed to be from a sincere place. Like, oh, well, I look at you as like a niece or whatever. And if you ever want to like really talk about it, like DM me and we can have a phone call because I'm actually concerned. I'm coming from a concerned place, blah, blah, blah. And so we were just like, it took you like 6 rants to say that. You aren't sincere. Like you were coming from a fat phobic place. Like, so a lot of people were counseling her because going on her Instagram, it was her followers telling her she's wrong. You know,
She's what?
Wrong in the situation. Because I think one of her last posts was like defining fat phobic and like her standing down saying like, this isn't me because this is what the definition
She's
is.
not coming from a place of fear
Yeah, like it's just like,
or negativity.
yeah. And then her biggest argument was like, I'm a 1X, sweetie. And people were like, the calls coming from inside the house. And then I don't know how true it is, but other people had posted and said like she had a tummy tuck and some other stuff done.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's just.
Do you remember when she was on Top Model? Do you remember her?
No, it's not Takara. It's not that Takara.
Oh, the comedian?
No, it's the comedian. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's disappointing.
And that's funny too, because people thought it was Takara from Top Model, because no one. Well, I'm not gonna say no one.
That's why I said like she's like more millennials era.
Most people didn't know who this comedian was, and so they really did off rip thought it was the Top Model person.
Oh,
and it was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't think Top Model would talk like this. You know, like everyone's like so confused. But then they realized it was the comedian Takara. They're like, who are you, lady?
damn.
So that went on for at least a week, and she was literally talking to herself for the longest time and like doubling down on what she was saying and how she said it. And
I mean, it's just like it's also maybe a comedian thing. That's what comedians don't apologize.
yeah,
They just don't. I don't know. I feel like society needs to stop expecting comedians to apologize because they won't. I mean, some maybe.
it just
But-
didn't feel like she was in her comedian bag though when she was making those videos.
No, but in terms of maybe like a character flaw, that might be something we might be able to see a pattern. I don't know. There's only 2 people in this pattern today,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there's some other case studies we could pull
Yeah.
to make this argument stronger. But that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So is she canceled in your book?
Because I like them both, so it was hard for me to like sit through the all this chaos, and it was just really sad. I don't know, like I really want her to be honest and not cop out, talk about, oh, I was coming from a concerned place. Like I'd rather her like just be real, like this is how I felt. Like I'd rather her do that than be like, girl, call me, we can have a real conversation. Because it's like at this point, like you could have did that from the first place. You could have DM'd me in the first place instead of making a whole video series about me, you know. So I guess I won't be supporting her anymore. As far as her being canceled, I think she does have a specific demographic of people who enjoy her comedy. But the way her comments were looking,
Yeah.
and she's a black woman. Black women usually are
Is her audience.
not only that, but black women are usually not. People don't usually forgive black women as easily, too, whether it's coming from the black community or the broader community.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and she already wasn't that big to begin with because people thought they were talking about the top model to Cara.
Yeah, and she wasn't.
So
She wasn't.
The only reason I know of her was because of Kevin Stage. He did his when he did the pandemic. During the pandemic, they had like the online comedy shows. That's the only reason I knew her. And then I subscribed to her YouTube channel because she had a podcast about her divorce, and so I found that interesting. And then like I see clips of her like on YouTube and stuff. She's funny, but yeah,
That's disappointing to hear.
I think she might be canceled.
based on the following
Yeah.
situation. Yeah, the comments. That's too,
Interesting. You think she's gonna be canceled?
probably by the sounds of it. I know that particular topic, fat phobia, is something super. I don't know. I feel like the language around that is very sensitive, and even if you have a history of your own of being plus size, I don't think that there's any way you could appropriately talk about it.
Yeah, and she has like a Coke bottle shape, so she's like that type of plus size.
Yeah.
So people were just like,
I hope that makes sense what I'm trying to say.
no,
though.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, in this day and age, I don't think you can joke about that
Yeah.
and not be canceled.
Well, she wasn't even joking.
Right.
Well, okay, so yeah. So even,
Yeah. But yeah, people were just like, so people, even if you're 1X, like not all 1Xs have your shape, you know, so you're going to call them like, they're not going to fit the clothing even in a 1X the same way you're fitting the clothing in a 1X.
in a 1X. Mhm.
So it's just like, there's so many things that it just wasn't
clicking
clicking for her. So
Probably having to still sift through her own trauma.
I think
of
that's what
being-
it is.
That's what I'm feeling, you know? Like,
And it's this young, pretty, young, you know, girl who's very talented, very educated outside of her appearance. So
and able to do her thing and celebrate just the way she is.
yes, and still get her
Takara
accolades.
might have had to do
Some tubby tucking and losing weight and
some engaging in fat phobic, you know, maybe ideologies, yeah,
to get to
to the point of success. And that's unfortunate if that's the environment in which she unfortunately came up in.
yeah.
With regard to her success especially.
It doesn't help that the last thing that I actually watched of hers, she was on a podcast with what's his name? He has a Latino last name, but he's also a black comedian. But anyway, she was like, is it pandering? Is that the term?
Pandering?
Pandering.
Yeah, when you like being thirsty. Is that the same term?
No, it's not. It is. I feel like thirsty is a good synonym for pandering.
Okay, she was being thirsty on his podcast.
Let me look.
And so that was the last thing I actually like engaged in as far as her content. So I was like,
Not her Mary being thirsty.
I was just like, girl. Is she still married? Is she remarried? I thought she was divorced.
Wow,
I know she has a daughter.
All I remember is that when I first
I'm pretty sure
found
she's
Takara,
divorced. Yeah.
she was married. So I don't know if I didn't. Again, I don't follow her.
Yeah.
I just would see her content, and that was one of the main things. Like she would reference her husband. Remember, and that's when I stopped watching her.
But yeah. So yeah, I don't think she has a strong comeback.
And that's an interesting point. I feel like, can you cancel somebody who wasn't on yet?
She was on. I think she was on enough.
Honestly, a lot of people, that's how their career is before they're able to like really get that.
Interesting. I'm not gonna say she wasn't on. I just wonder, like, is that interesting? Because like with the shits and gigs, like they had a trajectory going, but I don't know what her trajectory was before this. And again,
I would liken Takara to Shits and Gigs trajectory. Like I feel like she was very successful,
starting to grow up.
Yeah, like especially with having less Tiffany Haddish, because she reminds me a lot of Tiffany Haddish's style of humor. So I don't know. I saw her a lot on my YouTube shorts anyway, so maybe that's just a bias because I've seen her a lot, but I feel like it seemed like she was doing consistent enough stand up that she had consistent enough crowds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's good. In the same way Shits and Gigs has consistent enough bookings at different podcasts because people are looking to listen to them. I think people will still want to hear her comedy, but like you said, Ariel, I think she's going to need to be more transparent. Maybe not.
Interesting. It's always weird, and I'll leave it on this. Like thinking about the points that you made about like her being plus size, but being a 1X plus size and stuff like that. I think it's like it's crazy that some people like don't. I feel like as a culture, we just got to a point where we don't. I think we lack empathy and lack like scope and realizing like I was telling, like I remember I was at work and I was talking to my the lady next door, and she was like, I was telling her, I was like, oh yeah, I'm 240. She was like, there's no way you're 240. I was like, yeah, I'm 240. You don't look like you're 240. I'm like,
what does 240 look like?
that's what I say. I was like, she's like, my husband's around 240. You don't look like you're 240. I'm like, okay. And like I'm only using that as a reference that like people don't realize like not everybody gonna look the same, you know, like
they're carrying the same weight.
Yeah, because like there's some people who are wear 1X and they have broad shoulders, and people who have 1X and they got a gut, and some people who 1X and they got more side, like more, you know, love handles. Yeah. So it's like for her to be like, I'm a 1X, I can talk about this, like no. Like
her biggest thing was like, I did the work to lose the weight, and I'm just like,
well, not to mention like when I think about stuff like, you know, because my dad's side of the family struggled, not his brothers, but like I got siblings who have struggled with in the past, and they consistently work out and things like that, and it's like, you know, there's a lot of things that play, like glandular problems and stuff like that, and just genetics in general, that even when you lose weight to look what people will call skinny, you have, for a person with that type of genetics, will have to lose so much weight that it would look crazy. So it's like, you know, people don't really like, you know, it's like,
understand
like you're not really taking into account other people's
works.
Experiences.
Yeah, that
was because you're only speaking from your own place.
Yeah, that was a lot of people argument too. They're like, there's so many factors into like why people will be their size or appear the way they are. Like, I don't know, but everything people said it wasn't. Yeah,
it wasn't hidden there.
Yeah,
because she was too caught up on y'all not hearing me.
Yeah, and
that's pretty much what it was. Y'all not hearing me. What I'm saying is like, we ain't trying to hear you.
Yeah. That's sad. I hope that she finds her healing with that, though.
I hope so too.
Because I think that she can be funny. I do think she's a talented comedian, and unfortunately, the integrity obviously plays a bigger role than talent.
Yeah,
but
especially today.
It kind of reminds me of like black people who be like, I'm light skinned, and be like, other races see you as black. So you saying you're not black is just like, when you walk into a room, they're gonna see a black person. Like,
me no black.
So I feel like she's like, I'm not fat. And it's like, well, you walk into a room,
and maybe
some people might look at you like you're a fat woman, like.
And that's probably hard if she really did, especially work hard for, you know, to fit into this idea of what would be a better size for her career, if that was the angle that she was coming from. Of course, I don't know that that's the case, but I'm curious if that's coming from a place of like wanting validation somewhat, or if,
Possibly.
you know,
Interesting.
sorry, I don't know. I don't mean to dig too much. I just
Oh,
think,
no.
I'm thinking too much for sure, because I was thinking about that like in the same lane that she was thinking, like, you know, because you're saying like, is it maybe she was doing it for the look, but I'm also thinking like maybe that's why it bothers her so much, like why the point of like fitting clothes that maybe make her look more aesthetically pleasing is a thing, because you know she still gets referenced in a unattractive way. She's like, no, look, I'm, you know, and it's like you're still speaking from a place of hurt, because it shouldn't matter what people think, especially if you've been married before and got a kid. Like, obviously somebody thought you attractive. Obviously you got people who care about you, just things like that. Why are you worried about
someone else,
a random dude walking down the street? You know what I'm saying? Not saying that shouldn't be the case, but I'm saying like, especially to go to the internet and be ranting about it. Like
I was just so
Jeez Louise.
disappointed and confused. I was like, is this real life? Like,
this is the
That's what's
collab I
up.
did not want to see.
right.
This is the sort of collab I did not want to see.
it's like, oh, shout out to I don't know if it's Samira or Samara.
Yeah.
I like her content strategy, though.
I'm gonna
Post
check
the
it out.
stitch, because it knows going to get people's attention, and then just keep doing your own
Keep
thing.
doing it. One of the stitches was
Classic.
she was reading books about fat phobia and like body positive. Like she's just sitting on a bench and she's like flipping through the different books that show like each title, not saying anything. Right, Takara's like yelling at the camera. That was the funniest one.
Nice.
Sounds like she's funnier.
She should be a comedian. Huh?
Yeah, like she might have a new talent. I don't know, a
Right.
secret talent anyway.
Yeah, she's like a Harvard graduate or something else. Like,
Oh.
she like listed out all her accolades and like
Okay.
education and music and stuff, and she was just like, I'm just over here minding my business, being the excellent person I am.
Good for
Shout out to
her.
her.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Those people who usually win. Mind your business. Well, guys, appreciate y'all. Like, we got some good stuff off. Oh wait, did you say she was canceled? Did you say she's gonna get canceled? Yeah, canceled.
Well, yeah,
I think she's gonna get canceled too.
in this climate, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, guys,
maybe she'll make it.
appreciate y'all. It's been another episode of the Special Friends Podcast. Again, I'm your boy Wuzi.
It's me, Ali B.
Whatever you want to call him. Earoke.
Whatever you want to call me. And yeah, thank you guys again. If you guys let us know your thoughts, if the people that we mentioned you think they're going to be canceled or not canceled, and give you a reason why. Because if you don't tell me why, then I'm just going to disregard your comment. You can't just be like, nah. Anyways, but yeah, let us know what you guys think about those people. Share your guys' thoughts in general about some topics we talked about today. And yeah, if you haven't already, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.
You're my special friend.